Today is day 2 of the Democratic National Convention, but joining us now to break down more of those big moments from last night, political strategist Ari Aramesh. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first, we want to start with President Biden touting his record over the last 4 years. He made the case for why Americans should cast their vote for Vice President Harris in November. Would you say this symbolic passing of the torch was successful?
It certainly was. This was a number of Democratic Party sort of heavyweights, people like Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, people who have given a lifetime to this country, who've given over half a century of service to this country and to the party, going along and saying, you know what, we are now going to pass along the torch to a new generation. We saw AOC on the stage. We saw Vice President Kamala Harris. This was symbolic, and I think it really summarized the point in President Biden's own words. I gave you my best. I think he gave America some of the best years of his life, 50-some years of service. He entered the U.S. Senate at age 29, not even yet old enough to be sworn in as a senator. Went through a whole host of personal tragedies, but served as a senator, as vice president, and now as president. Regardless of our political differences, Republicans, Democrats, independents, it was a night to say thank you to Joe Biden for over half a century of service.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of emotion from him as well. I also want to touch on former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Governor Kathy Hochul addressing the convention. How were their remarks received?
So Hillary Clinton, I mean, this is one of the most crucial moments in American political history. For the first time, we have for a second time for that matter, actually, we have a woman who's nominee of a major party. If you go back to '84, when Geraldine Ferraro became the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, at the time you had Vice President Mondale running against President Reagan. Well, their chances of defeating Reagan was slim to none, and they lost. When Hillary Clinton won the nomination in 2016, and she won the popular vote, but only lost to Donald Trump by a slim little margin in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, we're talking about a total of 70,000 votes. It was a heartbreak for a lot of people, especially for people who were waiting for this greatest glass ceiling in American politics to be broken. But I think it wasn't meant to be Hillary Clinton. It turns out just the sort of course of events and course of history gave this mantle to Kamala Harris from my home state of California. And I think she was very happy. She was proud. And again, she is not the same generation as Kamala Harris. She's exactly one generation behind. And I saw a lot of hope and a lot of pride in Secretary Clinton's speech that now it's not just a dream for a woman to become the nominee of a political party. It's not just some out-of-reach ambition. It's reality, and it's happening every other election. So I think that's something to be proud of. You know, you kind of got goosebumps last night listening to these speeches where not long ago, having a black man as the president of the United States was unimaginable. Well, Barack Obama broke that. Having Hillary Clinton or a woman back-to-back as the nominee of a major political party. We had it in 2016 and again in 2024. It has now become the political norm in this country, and how great is that?
And just really quickly, the impact on fundraising?
Oh, it's great. It's going to go through the roof. The Republicans didn't get that boost they wanted from their convention. Democrats are bringing a lot of hopeful sort of messages of hope and enthusiasm, and they're raising a ton of money. But quickly, just look at the Democratic convention and the Republican convention, the old and the new, sort of endorsing the new generation. You don't see that in the Republican Party, but neither this year, nor in 2020, nor in 2016. No former president, Republican president, showed up to endorse Donald Trump. President Bush the father, when he was alive, President Bush the son. You didn't have the former nominees of the of the Republican Party, Mitt Romney. None of these guys showed up because there is a major divide between what Donald Trump represents and what the old, Republican Party and sort of the moderates represent. So we see a sort of a sense of transition and continuity in the Democratic Party with some order. The huge contrast between what we saw last night and what we saw about a month ago in Wisconsin.
Well, a lot more to come tonight and the rest of the week. Ari Aramesh, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we'll be
Good to be with you.
Thank you. We'll be